Happy Tuesday, fellow audience, and you're about to get a quick rundown of important news events from April the 17th of 2023 from our show Too Long Didn't Scroll, the show for you to get your daily news fix with no hassle, little time, and much convenience. Every day, a new episode of this show is uploaded for you to either watch or listen to get timely news updates as quickly and easily as possible. Today marks our 80th episode. Happy listening, everyone.
Video shows plumes of smoke over an airport in the Sudanese capital, where
We start the events of the 17th in the country of Sudan, amid clashes between the Sudanese military junta forces and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, continue to run rampant. On the 13th, the RSF announced a nationwide mobilization of its forces and in the following days, proceeded to clash with the Sudanese military throughout the country and in the capital city of Khartoum, where battles raged on at the presidential palace and the international airport. The RSF was originally created by the Sudanese government in 2013 to assist it in the war in Darfur, but the RSF later, together with the Sudanese military, initiated a coup in 2021, cutting short Sudan's transition to democracy. The RSF and military's relations then proceeded to deteriorate significantly after the latter's attempts to integrate the former into itself. The RSF's leader, Mohammed Hamdat Dagalo, also stated he still supports a Sudanese transition to democracy. These tensions culminated in the initiation of clashes on the 13th. Numerous countries around the world have called for an end to the violence, and countries like neighboring Chad have closed their borders to Sudan, and the country of Kenya has suspended all flights to and from the country. Violence against international visitors, especially by the RSF, to the nation have also occurred, like with an attack on the Sudanese European Union ambassador, Aiden O'Hara, in his very own home in Khartoum, and another attack on the American diplomatic convoy driving through the country. China, Malaysia, and America have urged all their citizens in the country to hide or seek shelter or evacuate the country entirely. 2 foreign deaths have already occurred during the clashes, one of them being a Japanese citizen. We now concern ourselves with the relations between Ukraine and the rest of Europe. Aid, including the military equipment and humanitarian assistance, has been streaming into the country in the wake of the Russian invasion, which initially forced a full shutdown of its borders and ports, majorly halting Ukrainian exports for the better part of a year. Ukraine's economy depends quite a lot on the export of its copious grain reserves, which was halted during the initial stage of the invasion. Ukrainian grain exports later resumed several months later, though with an incredibly large surplus, grain prices and demand plummeted in the country, putting Ukraine in the position of needing to export as much of its surplus as possible. Several European nations, however, appear to not be in need of so much Ukrainian grain, as countries like Poland and Hungary, and as of the day of recording, Slovakia, have ceased imports of Ukrainian grain for the time being, citing that they need to support their own local farmers and keep them afloat during these economically turbulent times. Ukrainian and European Union officials have criticized these moves, pushing for an explanation into each nation's motives. Ukrainian officials has also stated that it is not sustainable for their own agricultural industry to continue holding on to so much surplus grain. The news from Slovakia from this day, though, however, was accompanied by an announcement that the country will be sending Ukraine some military equipment in the form of 13 MiG-29 fighter jets. In the country of Argentina, a major outbreak of dengue fever, caused by the commonly born from mosquitoes dengue virus, is making its way to the province of Santa Fe. According to local health authorities, around 10,800 people have been infected in this latest wave, 3 of which have proven fatal. The provincial health authority has since urged the public not to underestimate the current situation and is recommending all to see a doctor as soon as possible when showing signs of symptoms, which include fever, vomiting, headaches, muscle and joint pain, and other similar symptoms. We now center in on an interesting move made by the country of Myanmar. The Southeast Asian country has been under the rule of a military junta since 2021 when the country's military, the Tatmadaw, ousted then leader Aung San Suu Kyi from power in a coup, instating General Min Aung Hlaing as de facto leader. Brutal crackdowns, censorship, and the like have since been nothing but ever-present since, especially in the wake of ongoing protests and armed insurgencies seeking to overthrow the current junta, which were responded to with brutal violence. However, as the Buddhist New Year rolls around this time of year, Hlaing as of this day has pledged to release over 3,000 political prisoners currently detained, though how many of those were arrested during the recent crackdowns is still unclear. Hlaing stated that such releases are being made for, quote-unquote, the peaceful mind of the people on humanitarian grounds.